So Kenny has a question about limiting the signals based on a start time and end time. Yeah, such as RTH. Yeah, all right. So Kenny's got an example here. So let's say he only wants to trade the first half of the day. All right, so the morning hours, and then stop the trading in the afternoon on Eastern time. So you can do that in both BloodHound. So you can limit the BloodHound signals so that they only show up during a certain time period of the day. And you can do that within Blackbird as well. So Blackbird has a scheduler built into it as well. So, that way if you don't clean up your BloodHound signals, then you can use Blackbird to limit its trading times. So simply put there, Kenny, you want to use the time session solver there. Right? So that's the whole point of it. If we grab this time session solver, connect that in, and then go to the session here. Let's make a session, and you can see it opens up this custom scheduling window here. And let's see here. So you want Eastern time, so make sure you set your time zone accordingly. Looks like I scrolled right past it. Oh, it's right there. Okay, there's Eastern time. Yep. And so there we go. So I can go from 8:30, hit OK, and then I can just drag this down to noon. And you can set that up, for each day of the week. So. All right. So if I look at this solver here, right, there you go. So the solver turns on when, when that bar is inside that period there that you set up, right? So there you go. So there's no output during the overnight session, and then and then there you go. So going back to tomorrow. So there you go. 10 o'clock is 12. There's noontime Eastern time zone for me. So right. So there you go. There's that 4-hour kind of block a window there, right, like so, right. And so then you can take your signals. Let's see. All right. Yeah. There we go. So we have some signals outside of that, and so if I connect this in. So, yeah. All right, so there we go. Lots of signals, and then I connect in the time session solver, and there you go. Now my signals are all restricted. Right. And Blackbird has a scheduler as well. It has a scheduler that looks just like this. So you can set it up the same way. And as a little tip here, there's also, let's see here. Let me go to the indicator list here. So we have this indicator called time block. It's not really necessary anymore, but it does have one functionality that is still useful here. So the time block was the answer to the time session solver. Before we had this nice, easy to use interface, we had to use an indicator to identify those blocks of time. So that's why it's called time block. All right, so we have that indicator. And with that indicator, actually, let me just delete that. Let's connect that back up. Let's see here. All right, so I need a threshold solver. Yeah, we're not going to see anything, but just to show you, so you know it's available, All right, so in the indicator window here, we're going to go Shark, go to Tools, and load in that time block indicator, right? So you can, again, this is the old-fashioned way. You can put in your blocks of time and, and determine what day of the week. But let's see, is there a setting? No, there's no setting. But if you look at all the outputs down here, there's one that's called Is Trading Holiday. So you can identify holidays in your backtesting. So that way, right, so you can kill the signals during holidays for your backtesting. Because, I think it's probably kind of common knowledge here that probably, the holidays are like the worst day to be trading on, right? Because markets are really thin, low volatility, thin markets. And so I think it's probably a safe bet to assume most systems probably don't work good on holidays. So you can use this and yeah, I mean, I don't have a holiday here, but with this, you actually need to invert it. So that's the key to this, is you actually have to invert it, because, right, this output is telling you, is the current day a holiday? Is it a holiday? Right. So you want to enable your signals when it is not a holiday, right? So you want the opposite. So that's why you invert it. That's why you invert the signals, because you want to know when it's not a holiday, and therefore it is safe to, generate signals. Let's see here. I wonder if let me create a 1 hour chart. And if I go back far enough, I think we should see a holiday. Oh, and sorry, yeah, I didn't finish setting up the threshold solver properly. So I do need to open up, right, the rules window here. So, and I should set this to equals. Actually, yeah, if it equals 0, yeah. So, okay, so I don't actually need to invert it. Yeah, I'm still kind of thinking in terms of BloodHound version 1. So, yeah, in BloodHound version 1, yeah, you would want to invert it. But with BloodHound version 2, because the rules window now gives you all of these different conditions here, yeah, we can set it up directly. So when the time block equals 0, or, right, basically 0 meaning there is no holiday, right, there we go. So we can see, let's see, what day is that? What was that? President's Day? January 16th. Martin Luther King Day. There we go. Yeah, Martin Luther King Day. Okay, right. And then, let's see, what else we got here? Oh, yeah, then we have January, New Year's Eve was celebrated on the 2nd. Yeah, so the markets were closed on the 2nd, right? So there we go. So there's that little gap for New Year's Day break and Martin Luther King. Right. And so again, that is coming from the time block indicator. And the time block indicator is actually reading NinjaTrader's holiday schedule. So these holidays come from NinjaTrader, right? So if it looks like the holidays are messed up or they don't go back far enough, then you need to go and fix your holiday schedule within NinjaTrader. Yeah. So the time block itself does not calculate holidays. That's coming from NinjaTrader's database. And I think their database only goes back about 5 years. So, all right, so there you go. That's how you would add kind of like a holiday limitation to your system. But again, the way these time-based signal restrictions work, right, is you want to see an output when trading is allowed, and then when there is no output, that's when the signals will be blocked, is when there is no output. Right, so I can just take that and connect it into the AND node, and there you go. So Dean is asking, so can the trading holidays be selected, edited, and updated manually? Yeah, so Dean, as I explained, that's coming from NinjaTrader's database. So you would have to edit your NinjaTrader database to do that. Yeah, so there's nothing in the time block indicator that you can adjust. The time block indicator is just simply reading, NinjaTrader's holiday schedule in their database, and there's no settings for that, for customizing that or anything. It's just was a simple hook in for the time block, that we thought would be helpful. So if you needed to customize stuff, Dean, yeah, you would have to go find some. I would imagine, yeah, I know I've heard of indicators out there, things kind of similar to a news event indicator, but also have detailed control over holidays as well. So I know I've heard of indicators along that lines. Whether or not they work with BloodHound, that I don't know. The key would be, if anybody did create kind of like a customizable holiday schedule indicator, it would have to output, it would have to kind of give an output, so that indicator could be read, to know when you've selected a holiday or not.